UK-based Economic Intelligence Unit projects victory for the NPP in November's general elections. Tonight on TBS, we get you reactions from the NPP and the governing party as the EIU predicts possible political instability if the NPP loses the general elections. Meanwhile, the Judicial Workers Association has declared an indefinite strike over their working conditions.
Which takes effect from 1st April 2016 will remain withdrawn until our demands are met.
We bring you the latest on a crunch meeting between the association and the Labour Minister. This is today's big story with me, Kwachi Afrenioma. A latest report by British-based Economic Intelligence Unit is projecting victory for the New Patriotic Party ahead of the crucial general elections this year. Extracts of the report reads, and I quote, "There is little time for the President John Mahama administration and the NDC to turn the economy around before the November 2016 presidential and legislative elections." The Economic Intelligence Unit therefore says it expects Nana Akufo-Addo and the NPP to be victorious. Very soon, my colleague Justice Baidu will be joining me in the studio for with more on extracts on this very latest report by the EIU. The report continues by saying that the outcome is by no means a foregone conclusion. However, with results likely to be close, the NPP will need to work hard to attract votes from outside its heartlands in Central Region while maintaining internal unity. That's a crucial point that this report talks about, maintaining internal unity, even though it predicts victory for Nana Akufo-Addo in the general election. My colleague Justice Baidu has more on this latest report by the Economic Intelligence Unit and joins me in the studio now. What more does it say?
So this report essentially touches on many of the issues that we are well aware of, especially for people who are well vexed in the usual political discussions in Ghana. So it makes mention of the energy challenges that we've had over the past couple of years as one of the major reasons why people would find it difficult forgiving the NDC government led by President Mahama. It also talks about slow economic growth. So essentially it makes mention of the city, the depreciation in the city's value and the resultant economic impact that it has had on businesses and job losses and all of that. And it essentially then says that the time in between, even though problems like the energy challenges have sort of abated a bit, the time between now and November, it's too short for the NDC to be able to make that sort of amends to convince, especially floating voters, that they deserve to get
So those
mandate.
issues would prove crucial in determining who the eventual winner of the elections will be. And it also talks about possible political instability.
Yeah. So then it moves on to say that even though Ghana has a strong democratic credentials in terms of the foundations that support our democracies are strong, if the NPP then are declared winners, then it leaves room for a bit of political instability. But then it also adds that because of how strong our institutions are relative to other countries in the sub-region, they don't think that it could degenerate to the point where it gets into some sort of violence or any such instances.
And another interesting projection the EIU report makes talks about an internal battle wrangling in the NDC after 2016 on who succeeds President John Mahama's flag bearer of the party. Tell us about it.
I think, like I said in the beginning, in many of the things that are mentioned in this report are things that a lot of political pundits in this country have already spoken about one way or the other. So, for example, it talks about how the NDC then is going to struggle to replace, or if you like, get a new flag bearer post the era of President Mahama, who, according to their projections, would then have been out of office. And so it then creates a battle in between, inside the NDC itself, on who then leads the party post-November 2016.
Thank you very much. That was my colleague, Justice Bedu. Let's go on the phone line now. I'm joined by the two Deputy General Secretaries of the two major political parties, the NDC and the MPP. Nana Obiri-Boahen is Deputy General Secretary of the largest opposition party. George Lawson is with the NDC. I'll start with you, Nana Obiri-Boahen. This must be welcoming for you, this report projecting victory for your flag bearer in the MPP entirely.
Oh, well, I'm surprised. Good evening to you. I'm surprised you consider it as a welcoming. Look, speaking for myself and for on behalf of the numerous supporters and sympathizers of the MPP, we are not enamored by predictions of Economic Intelligence Unit, soothsayers, astrologers, priests, and what have you. We are focused, determined to wrestle power from MP. That is all. That is the bottom line.
But
we are not even concerned about the wranglings going on in Atebu, wranglings going on in NDC, wranglings going on in MPP, wranglings going on. We are not worried at all. We are not going to use the reclamation of one power. What the bottom line is that we are going on with our campaign. We are determined to reach every nook and cranny. November 7th, we are going to win, pure and simple. That is the bottom line.
But I reckon the MPP believes, like the EIU report talks about, that issues like the high inflation, generally matters concerning the economy, the power challenges that we faced over the past few years were near to your benefit. You agree with that?
Never mind. Ghanaians are discerning enough to know what is good, what is right, and who can deliver them to the promised land. Ghanaians are discerning enough. That is all.
Well, before I go on to exhaust other areas that this report talks about, let me take a quick reaction from Mr. George Lawson, who is also on the line, Deputy General Secretary of the NDC. Mr. Lawson, your reaction?
Good evening. Yes, this we've heard about such reports several. But again, if you look at the report, inconsistency all over.
Why so?
Yes, they talk of what? It is not a foregone conclusion after saying that they're going to win. If you say somebody's good, why do you come back and say it's not a foregone conclusion? Again, you're talking of making amends, talking of unity in their party. I mean, it's full of inconsistency. And again, talking about in terms of when they win, there'll be instability. There's not going to be any instability in this country. 2000, when we handed over, was there any instability? So I don't see what actually that report is about. Maybe it's skewed to one political party or to please the NPP or no, I don't know. We are also working very hard, poised for victory come November 7th.
But Mr.
We're not leaving any stone unturned. We are also poised for victory. We're working so hard.
Truth be told, Mr. Lawson, and I'm wondering, isn't it a fair point to make that despite the achievements that your government talks about, issues like inflation, high inflation, the power challenges will make this victory you are anticipating quite a huge task for you?
Yes, again, they mentioned power problem. The power problem has been fixed. It's been solved. So you can see where they are coming from. They factored it in it, and it's not a factor anymore as far as we are concerned in this country. And then the inflation. I mean, how high is it? Looking at the rate at which it's moving. So I mean, they are entitled to the opinion. That's the beauty of democracy. Anybody, Tom, Dick, and Harry can sit anywhere and write any report. We are not bothered about such reports. We're working so hard and making sure come November 7th, victory of ours. We have more members of parliament or in parliament, and His Excellency John Dramani Mahama will be retained by the good people of this country.
So you don't reckon that, for example, the harsh economic conditions could go against your party, all these issues?
We are not saying that there are no challenges. There are challenges. The president has admitted that. And this challenge is does not only pertain to only Ghana or whatever. I mean, Obama went through hell, but this time he did even better than 2008 with regards to the Electoral College. The challenges, they are there, and we're trying as much as possible to make sure these challenges are faced or are handled.
I
so
imagine...
We are not saying that it's all that rosy. We've never said so. The president has not said so. There are challenges, and there are bound to be challenges. But these challenges should not take us off what we're doing. We're poised. Those that we can do, we'll do it before November 7th. And with that, the good people of this country will renew the mandate of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and make sure we get more numbers in Parliament. So, if the economic, whatever, intelligence units or whatever they call themselves think NPP, fine, so be it. That is their opinion. And I'm not sure it's the opinion of the good people of this country.
And I imagine, Nana Obiri-Boahen, that going into the election, as the report points out, the MPP is going to focus more on the government's failures than, for example, what your own message is, for instance. Nana Obiri-Boahen. All right, since we've lost Nana Obiri-Boahen, we'll get him.
I am around. I'm available.
Yes, Nana.
Come again.
Yes, I was asking that as this report states, I'm pretty sure that ahead of this very crucial election, the MPP is going to make a lot of political capital of the government's failures, much more than what your message really is.
Look, see, persistently, I've made our position clear. Ghanaians are discerning enough. It is not for us to drum home that A, B, C, D, E, F, F. I am saying that Ghanaians are discerning enough. And they know how to appreciate a good government. And they know how to tell a government that, look, you have outlived your usefulness. And you are going to win. That is all.
There's a point, a key part of the EIA report talks about possible political instability.
Never mind. We are not hoodwinked into taking this economic needs report. We are not hoodwinked. We are not particular about it. We may discuss it maybe for academic purposes, but as far as we are concerned, we are moving from village to village, hamlet to hamlet. The man in the village, my village, Abonia, doesn't know anything about Economic Intelligence Unit report. So it depends upon us for us to go sit down with the person, interact with the person, talk with the person, share ideas, critiques, and that is the end of it.
But and the aspects that this report talks about possible political instability, it says that due to public anger over the unstable condition of our economy and all the issues, all the negatives so far as this government's performance is concerned, that is a high likelihood. You dismiss that entirely?
I'm not interested in commenting on that.
Mr. Lawson?
That is I am not interested in running a commentary on that. That is for the government of the day. We are in a position. We are marshalling our resources. We are combining the efforts of our supporters and activists. We are going all out to do our campaign. That is all.
Mr. Lawson?
Yes.
Your reaction to the same question?
Please come again.
The aspect of the report that talks about possible political instability, certainly due to dissatisfaction with the performance of government.
And I can tell you that there will be no instability. We've come very, very far. As a young democracy, we've come very far. And I can assure you, from our party's point of view, that there's not going to be any instability. But again, I was reading some excerpts of the report that talks of 2017, the economy will boom between 2017 and 2020. If what I'm saying is right, then the report is full of inconsistency. So how can the economy boom without any foundation? How can you build a building or you erect something without a foundation?
Well, 2017.
Is it going to boom out of the blue or what? There should be a foundation.
And your point
we are laying
here
the foundation for an eventful takeoff.
Your point here is?
Pardon?
Your point here is?
Yes, I'm saying that I read some essays. I don't know whether they are from some other sources.
Yes, true.
The economy is going to boom between 2017 and 2020. And I'm saying it is going to be out of the blue. Meaning, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama's government is laying the foundation for an eventful takeoff. So meaning, without that foundation, the economy cannot boom just next year. That's all what I want to say. So I'm saying that this thing is full of inconsistencies and I wouldn't say inaccuracies, or I don't know what they actually want to put forward. Again, they sit somewhere and write things about us without even coming to know actually what is on the ground.
Well, let me quote this part of the EIU report to you. It talks about possible internal wrangling in your party, Mr. Lawson, after the 2016 election. Says that, and I quote, that the NDC could face a damaging internal battle on who to succeed President John Dramani Mahama after the 2016 election, whether he wins or not, and that could play in the hands of the MPP. In fact, in the past, we've heard some political pundits make this point.
Yes, they have all the right to make do because that's their democracy. But the fathers, I think it's based on assumption. They are assuming. It's an assumption. Not even a prediction, it's an assumption. That is what they assume, and it will not come to pass.
That is a possibility, though.
It is not a possibility. It's a mirage. It is not a possibility, but a mirage.
What? Nana Bribwai. Hello?
Yeah.
Nana Bribwai, I'm wondering what you make of this. The MPP, you've had your own challenges, but this time around, the report is talking about possible internal wrangling in the NDC after 2016 on who succeeds.
We are not prepared to go into that. We are very much particular about our party. We are not like the NDC activists who are very much particular about things happening in our party. The chairman has done this. Why did they have to go in for acting chairman? We are not interested in that. We are not particular about some of these. These are matters meant for the NDC. Physicians should heal ourselves. Look, we are particular about MPP. We are interested in salvaging the economy of this country. That is all. Whether they will go with guns, bows and arrows to destroy each other, we are not particular about it at all. I am not interested in discussing what is happening in Nasibu. I am interested in what will make MPP one. That is all.
Well, thank you very much, Nana Bribwai. And Mr. Lawson, just before you leave us, I want a quick comment. Yesterday, what we heard in Atebubu, some violence there involving your party people.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate incident which should be condemned. It should be condemned. It should be condemned. It's a disgrace to those who engage in that act. It is an act that we abhor as a party. So those people must be brought to book.
And would the party be doing that? We understand these are youth activists of the NDC.
Certainly we would have to. But the fact is that if your neighbor's house is on fire, you also must be on alert. We are concerned when there are wranglings with it because we want this democracy of ours to grow. Without the MPP, without the CPP, without the PPP, without this young democracy of ours will not grow. We are not interested in the disintegration of any political party. We are interested in the survival of all political parties in this country, so that together we can make this young democracy of ours grow, so that prosperity would forever praise us.
Honestly, thank you very much. That was Deputy General Secretary of the NDC, George Lawson. Earlier, I heard the MPP's Deputy General Secretary, Nana Obiri-Boahen. Another development, the Judicial Service Staff Association has declared a strike. Judicial Service Staff, the JUSAC say they will withdraw their services in protest of their unpaid salaries. The president of the association, Alex Nate, addressed the press conference earlier today.
National Executive Council, NEC of JUSAC, has decided as follows: that government's letter to the Honorable Lady Chief Justice is just an attempt to delay the implementation of the approved salaries. And we don't agree. The disheartening aspect of the whole thing is the fact that the document was submitted to government as far back as June 2015. Government acknowledged receipt of the document in July. Between that period and now, we thought that if government was minded of listening to us, that the National Executive Council, NEC, directs the immediate withdrawal of services by all staff of the Judicial Service from 1st April 2016. And the withdrawal of our services, which takes effect from 1st April 2016, will remain withdrawn until our demands are met. Our brothers and sisters in the security unit, don't disagree with me. Our decision is not to destroy, but to build a stronger judiciary for Ghanaians. We cannot therefore abandon our property to the mercy of the weather. So we need to preserve it, so that when we come back after government has taken us seriously, we could have all our gadgets and structures in place to serve Ghanaians better. We cannot serve Ghanaians when we are hungry and there are distortions in our emoluments. And so we are not begging you to stay, but we are directing you to be at post. Thank you for coming.
So that was President of the Judicial Service Staff Association of Ghana, Alex Nate. In fact, information we are gathering is that, as I mentioned earlier, there's a crunch meeting between the Labour Minister, Haruna Iddrisu, and the leadership of JUSAC. The understanding and what we've gathered is that they're still negotiating with the members of JUSAC, government making strenuous efforts to ensure that this situation does not escalate. We'll bring you details on this meeting as and when we have information. But let's speak to private legal practitioner Abraham Amaleba. Let's assess what the possible impact of this strike by JUSAC could be. And Mr. Amaleba, thanks for joining us on today's big story. In fact, I remember not so long ago, I think not more than 5 months ago, there was a similar strike by the Judicial Service Staff Association. This must be disturbing.
Sure. If this strike takes place tomorrow, it will have dire consequences for the delivery of justice in the country. Tomorrow, being a Friday and just returning from the Easter break, you may not feel the impact in the case of the Superior Court. But if this matter is not resolved before Monday, that is where the impact will be felt. And I think that if government is speaking to them, that it's in the right direction so that we can avert the situation.
So let's get an understanding. These are the men and women who are what, clerks in the courtrooms and what?
If you take away the judge, the rest of the staff, you may call them auxiliary staff. They assist to ensure that cases are heard in court. So you are talking about the registrar, you are talking about the bailiff, you are talking about the court clerk, and you are talking about there are, they will call them those who dress the judges. I forgot their name, but these are the people you are talking about. All these people will go on strike, and what it means is that the judge alone cannot work because the judge cannot descend to work at those places. So clearly, it will shut down the court. And
it's, certainly, you say the courts will shut down. But you represent a number of people. This also means that persons, for example, who are coming to either be granted bail or otherwise. Let's get a clear understanding on what impact it will have on the individuals who are seeking justice.
So, for instance, if your case is going to be heard tomorrow, that will not happen. And so there will be a backlog of cases. All cases that are going to be heard today will be adjourned to the next hearing. That is, say, the next working day. And if the next working day, which is a Monday, the strike is still on, that means those cases on Monday will go to add up to the case on Friday. So there will be a backlog of cases, and that will put pressure on the judge. That is one. Two, the issue of persons who are going to be granted bail, and I'm not talking about the liberties of accused persons. So, for instance, if you were applying for bail tomorrow, your application cannot be heard, and so chances are that you are going to continue to be in there. Then there are some who have actually been granted bail, but they were trying to put together the documentation, the collateral, the surety. So hopefully they were thinking that by tomorrow they will have completed the process. This will not happen. They will have to spend more days in the prisons or cells. So well, I think this is some of the things that would impact negatively on the justice delivery.
Thank you very much. That was private legal practitioner Abraham Maliba. We'll leave it here. That will be it for today's big story. My name is Kwacha Freniama. Thanks for joining us.